You found me, good. Now, I wanted you to meet me down here because I have got some information for you that I think you're going to find interesting. But I must be careful, there are people around here. Right, I'm in a cellar somewhere in central London. It's the only place I think I'm not going to be overheard. But I'm not sure, and there are some people around. So if I have to suddenly go, then I'll be back in a bit. Now, Diego Garcia is technically part of the UK, located on the continent of Asia and part of the British Indian Ocean Territory. The US were granted permission to use the island as a military base in 1966 in exchange for cancelling a $14 million British debt for a military hardware purchase. Diego Garcia is now home to around 4,000 military personnel and support staff in 654 buildings. Did you know that? I had no idea. Now I can hear someone. I'll see you in a minute. Now, I'm going to give you a bit of history about Diego Garcia. When I say Diego Garcia to you, what does it mean? A friend of mine, when I mentioned the name, said, oh yes, don't they play for Brazil? No. Diego Garcia is the site of an ancient volcano. However, it has now been reduced to a horseshoe-shaped coral reef with a perimeter of approximately 40 miles and a maximum elevation of only 22 feet. It stretches for 15 miles north to south and around about 35 miles from tip to tip. Seems there are quite a lot of people around at the moment, so just bear with me. Now, this you're not going to like. According to the 2009 book, Island of Shame, when the US Navy took control of Diego Garcia, it forcibly removed its 2,000 inhabitants, sending them to Mauritius and the Seychelles, where they were left on the docks. No money, no housing, left on the docks to fend for themselves. Prior to their departure, their pet dogs were rounded up and gassed. Their bodies were buried in front of their eyes. Right, there you are. Now, as well as the network of GPS, I've discovered this, as well as the network of GPS satellites, there are just five antennas around the world. And these 5 antennas work out all the positioning systems for the GPS satellites. And one of them is based, you guessed it, in Diego Garcia. Now, it is warm down here, I must say, but I'll be as quick as I can. Retired United States Army General Barry McCaffrey twice made claims that Diego Garcia is the site of a secret US prison camp. These rumors could be rooted in claims of credible evidence exists supporting allegations that ships serving as black sites have used Diego Garcia as a base. However, in 2004, the British Foreign Secretary Jack Straw stated that US government had repeatedly assured him that no detainees had passed in transit or been held in Diego Garcia. Now, what exactly happens on the island of Diego Garcia? Well, wouldn't we all like to know? The island was a major launch pad for US attacks on Afghanistan and Iraq, and the island now is home to some of the US's most deadly planes, including the B-52s, B-1Bs and B-2 bombers. In 2007, the Pentagon granted a £32 million contract to add a submarine base to the island's existing dock. We must be careful. There are people all around here. Now, conspiracy theorists have made some pretty wild claims. I want to be sure I get this right, so I'm going to read this bit. These claims were made this year that the missing Malaysian flight MH370 was landed on the more than adequate runway of Diego Garcia. Now, according to a freelance journalist, claims to have received a photo, this journalist claims to have received a photo via text message from a passenger on MH370. Now, the passenger called himself Philip Wood, and data contained within the black iPhone photo contained GPS information which placed Wood at that time on the island. Now, the internet was quick to quash these claims, offering the more likely explanation that the photo is a fake. The question of whether the plane was landed on the island was asked in a White House press conference. Press Secretary Jay Carney simply answered, "I'll rule that one out," to the question. So what is the mystery surrounding the disappearance of MH370? Who knows? But I think I'm about to be discovered. So, only tell those people about this program that you can really trust. Remember, don't tell everyone, just the ones you can trust. This is James Whale reporting for the weird world we live in. See you next time.